He said it while pouring coffee, not looking at me, just stirring, stirring, stirring. I would never hide anything from you. I remember thinking, what a good man he is. I remember folding that sentence up like a letter and keeping it somewhere safe inside me. I should have asked why he said it at all. People who have nothing to hide usually don't announce it. In today's story, you will follow Maren, a woman who loved someone carefully and completely. She noticed the small signs. She just chose to believe the explanations. By the end, she will have to ask herself one honest question. Did she not know? Or did she simply not want to? Welcome to English Sunshine. Today's story is a little different. It is not about cruelty or betrayal in the way you might expect. It is about the quieter kind of dishonesty, the kind that lives inside silence, inside half-truths, inside a kiss that lasts 1 second too short. Listen carefully. And as you listen, pay attention to the phrasal verbs in this story. We will study them together at the end. I keep flowers alive for a living. That sounds like a metaphor, but it is not. I am a florist. I work in a small shop on the east side of Portland called Petals and Rain. Every morning, I arrive at 6, before the city wakes up, and I stand in a cold back room arranging roses and eucalyptus and sometimes peonies when they are in season. I like the work. I like that it requires attention. You cannot be distracted and keep flowers alive. They show you immediately when you have not been paying enough care. My name is Maren. I am 28 years old. I had been with Callum for almost 2 years when I started noticing things. Not big things, not the kinds of things you can point to and say, "There, that is wrong." They were small. A pause before he answered a question, a phone placed face down on the table, the way he sometimes looked at his watch when he thought I was not watching. I told myself I was being paranoid. I had been in a difficult relationship before Callum, a man who lied constantly about small things. So many small things that by the end I could not trust anything. I told myself that old experience was coloring how I saw Callum, that I was looking for problems that were not there. Callum was kind. He brought me coffee exactly the way I liked it, strong, with oat milk and no sugar. He remembered that I hated the smell of cigarette smoke, so he always walked away before lighting one. He learned the names of all my regular customers at the shop. He asked about them by name when he came home. These are not the habits of a dishonest man, I told myself. But then there was the kiss. It was a Tuesday in October. I remember because I had spent the morning wrapping white chrysanthemums for a funeral order, and the smell of them had stayed in my hair. Callum was leaving for work, or so I thought. He kissed me at the door. A quick kiss. A going-to-work kiss. Nothing unusual. Except, his eyes were already somewhere else. I felt it. The way you can feel someone leaving a room even before they move. His lips were on mine, but his mind was already outside, already walking down the street toward whatever was waiting for him. I stood at the door after he left and watched him turn the corner. He did not look back. He always looked back. I went inside and stood in the kitchen for a long time, holding my coffee cup with both hands. I thought about calling him. I thought about saying, "Where are you really going?" I did not call. I went to work. I arranged flowers. I kept things alive. But that kiss stayed with me, like a small stone in a shoe. Not painful enough to stop walking, just always there. 3 weeks later, I found the drawing. I was looking for a pen in his jacket pocket, the gray jacket he wore on weekends, when my fingers touched something soft and folded. I pulled it out. It was a child's drawing, done in crayon, a house, a sun, a stick figure with yellow hair. In the corner, in large, uneven letters, it said, "For Daddy." I stood in the hallway, holding that piece of paper for a long time. Callum did not have children. He had told me this clearly, early in our relationship. I had asked because I wanted to know, because it mattered to me. He had said, "No, no children. Someday, maybe, but not yet." I put the drawing back in his pocket, carefully, exactly as I had found it. That evening, Callum came home at his usual time. He brought takeout from the Thai place I liked. We sat at the kitchen table and ate and talked about our days. He told me about a difficult meeting at work. I told him about a bride who had changed her entire wedding flower order 3 days before the ceremony. I watched his face the whole time. He was completely calm, completely normal. The same Callum who remembered my coffee order and learned my customers' names. I thought, maybe it is from a niece, a nephew, a neighbor's child. People give drawings to adults they know. It does not have to mean what I think it means. I wanted so badly to believe that. But I had already started paying attention differently. And once you start paying attention differently, you cannot stop. I began to notice that every Thursday evening, Callum had somewhere to be. Not always a specific excuse. Sometimes work, sometimes a friend, sometimes just, I have a few things to take care of. I had never questioned Thursdays before. Now I counted them. 4 Thursdays, 4 quiet excuses. I am not a suspicious person by nature, but I am someone who keeps flowers alive. I know what it looks like when something is not getting what it needs. I know the signs. I thought about the kiss again. The eyes already gone kiss. The turned corner no looking back Tuesday morning. Something was being hidden from me. I did not know what, but I knew that much. I asked him on a Friday night. We had finished dinner, and I was washing the dishes, and he was sitting at the kitchen table with his phone. I turned around, still holding a wet plate, and I said, "Callum, who is the drawing from?" He looked up. Something moved across his face, fast, like a shadow crossing a room. "What drawing?" "The one in your gray jacket. It says for Daddy." He was quiet for 4 seconds. I counted. Then he put his phone down on the table, very carefully, and he said, "Maren, I need to tell you something." Her name was Ivy. She was 4 years old. She lived with her mother, Callum's ex-partner, Sasha, in a town 40 minutes outside Portland. They had separated before Callum and I met. The arrangement was every Thursday. Every Thursday, Callum drove 40 minutes, spent the afternoon with his daughter, and drove 40 minutes back. He had not told me because he was afraid. He said it exactly like that. I was afraid. Afraid I would leave if I knew. Afraid I would think it was too complicated. Afraid that the version of himself he had shown me, uncomplicated, free, available, would disappear if I knew about Ivy. "I was going to tell you," he said. I just kept waiting for the right time. I set the plate down on the counter. Slowly, I was very careful not to break it. "You kept waiting," I said. "Yes." "For almost 2 years." He did not answer that. I thought about the kiss, the Tuesday kiss where his eyes were already gone. He had been going to see Ivy that day too, I realized. He had been kissing me goodbye while carrying a secret so large, it had changed the weight of him. I had felt it and not known what I was feeling. She drew you a picture, I said. She called you Daddy. Yes. And I didn't know she existed. The kitchen was very quiet. Outside, rain had started against the window. Portland rain, steady, patient, the kind that does not rush. I love you, Callum said. That part was never a lie. I know, I said. And I did know. That was the strange part. I believed him completely on that one point. But love and honesty are not the same thing, and I had needed both. I did not ask him to leave that night. I went to the bedroom, and I lay on my side of the bed, and I stared at the wall. Callum slept on the sofa, or maybe he did not sleep. I did not check. In the morning, I got up at 5:30 as usual and went to work. I unlocked Petals and Rain and stood in the cold back room and began sorting the morning delivery. Roses, eucalyptus, a box of early peonies, slightly frost-damaged at the edges. I worked without thinking. That is something I love about flowers. They ask only for your hands, not your mind. Around 8 o'clock, my colleague Bet came in. She is 63, has worked in floristry for 30 years, and has a gift for knowing when something is wrong without being asked. She made tea. She handed me a cup. She said, "Do you want to talk or do you want to work?" "Work," I said. "Good," she said, and we worked. By noon, I had made 11 arrangements. My hands knew what to do even when I did not. I thought about Ivy, 4 years old, drawing pictures with crayons, writing for Daddy in large, careful letters. She was real. She had existed every Thursday for almost 2 years while I cooked dinner and waited for Callum to come home, and told myself the small signs meant nothing. I did not feel angry at Ivy. I want to say that clearly. She was 4. She had done nothing. She had simply been loved by her father on Thursdays. What I felt was something harder to name. Not anger, not exactly sadness. Something more like standing in a room and suddenly realizing that one of the walls is not a wall at all, but a door you never knew was there, and behind it, a whole other room. I had thought I knew the shape of Callum's life. I had thought I fit into it completely, but there had always been this room, this Thursday room, this Ivy room, and I had never been let in. That evening, I went home and I sat across from Callum at the kitchen table and I told him what I had decided. I was not ending things because I could not accept that he had a daughter. Ivy was not the reason. If he had told me at the beginning, or even after a month, even after 3, I would have listened. I would have tried. I was ending things because for 2 years, he had decided what I was ready to hear. He had managed my reality like something fragile, something that needed to be protected from the truth. He had kissed me at the door with his eyes already somewhere else and thought, "She won't notice." I had noticed. I had always noticed. I had just chosen to trust the explanations he gave me over the feeling that something was missing. That choice was mine. I owned it. But his choice, to keep choosing silence, month after month, that was his. He cried. Quietly, with his hands on the table. I did not look away. I let him be sad. I was sad too. "I'm sorry," he said. "I know," I said, and I meant it both ways. I left the apartment that night and drove to my sister's house and slept in her spare room under a heavy blanket that smelled like laundry detergent and something warm. In the morning, I went back to work. I arranged flowers. I kept things alive. Some things, once they lose the right conditions, cannot be saved. You can give them all the water in the world. If the root is damaged, it is damaged. But you plant new ones. That is also something I know about flowers. You clear the soil. You start again. Moral lesson. This story teaches us something important about honesty. Callum loved Maren. That part was true. But he made a decision that many people make without realizing how harmful it is. He decided what she was ready to know. He thought he was protecting her by staying silent. But protecting someone from the truth is not kindness. It is a quiet form of control. It says, "I do not trust you to handle reality." And when a person discovers they have been managed this way, what breaks is not just the secret. What breaks is the feeling of being truly known. Maren's decision was not easy, but it was honest. And sometimes, walking away from something you love, not from anger, but from a clear understanding of what you need, is the bravest thing a person can do. Phrasal verbs. Today, we are going to look at phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb is a verb combined with a small word, like up, out, back, or away, that creates a brand new meaning. They are extremely common in everyday spoken English, and you heard many of them in today's story. Phrasal verb 1, find out. Meaning, to discover something, often something hidden or secret. From the story, Maren slowly found out that Callum had been hiding something important. Try it. I found out the truth too late. Phrasal verb 2, look back. Meaning, to physically turn and look behind you. Also used to mean thinking about the past. From the story, he always looked back. That morning, he did not. Try it. When I look back now, I can see all the signs. Phrasal verb 3, come home. Meaning, to return to the place where you live. From the story, I waited for Callum to come home. Try it. He came home late every Thursday. Phrasal verb 4, take care of. Meaning, to deal with something or to look after someone. From the story, I have a few things to take care of. Try it. She took care of everything without asking for help. Phrasal verb 5, end up. Meaning, to finally be in a situation, often one you did not plan. Try it. She ended up sleeping at her sister's house that night. Phrasal verb 6, start again. Meaning, to begin something fresh after something has ended. From the story, you clear the soil, you start again. Try it. After everything, she decided to start again. The best way to remember phrasal verbs is exactly what you just did. Hear them inside a real story, in a real emotional moment. They stay with you that way. Shadowing practice. Listen and repeat slowly and clearly. He always looked back. That morning, he did not. I noticed. I just chose to trust him. Love and honesty are not the same thing. You clear the soil. You start again. She found out the truth slowly, one small sign at a time. Maren did not fall apart. She went to work. She arranged flowers. She started again. And maybe that is the most honest ending a story like this can have. Not dramatic, not perfect, just real. Before you go, 3 questions for you in the comments. Question 1. Have you ever noticed something was wrong but chose to believe everything was okay? Question 2. Do you think Callum deserved a second chance? Question 3. Which phrasal verb from today was new for you? Try using it in a sentence below. Thank you for learning with English Sunshine. See you next time.